Now they've done it. They've done it. If you missed the school board meeting from today, they decided to do a mask and masks as part of the dress code, meaning another mask mandate. But some people ain't happy with it. And so they decided to do a walkout, which I would not recommend to do. Welcome to the show. I gotta tell you, let me tell you, this is not a, I gotta tell you, this is the real deal here. Many people are having the option. We may have First Amendments, yes. But attorneys may tell you that kids have constitutional rights when they walk in the school building. They don't abandon those rights. I told you about that on previous episodes when some people have sued the school district over dress codes. I mean, now, after that meeting, there is going to be a walkout coming up during fifth period. I'm going to decide to leave this for the media to happen. I'm not going to skip work, go to the walkout, and cover it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to leave that to the people who are leaving that to the media. So what in the world is going to happen? Well, it will happen during fifth period when these people will be doing a walkout. I'm going to read you the post in just a second, but I want to recap on what the Flower Bluff ISD School Board said. I mean, they said we're going to add masks as a dress code, part of the code of conduct. So, we got to see what other parts of the media are doing about this. CCISD, Del Mar. Okay, there's nothing. Nothing for, there's one for CCISD and plenty of people. So before we move on to Flower Bluff, let's take a look at what CCISD parents have to say or react to the school mandate. Let's take a look.
A workout. Grab some laser tag. Grab a Groupon experience that grabs you.
I'm Taylor Alanis.
We begin this morning with reaction on Corpus Christi Independent School District's implementing of a 30-day mask mandate for students and staff. Rising COVID cases among school campuses is behind the district's decision. The school year began August 10th, and already there have been 945 students test positive for COVID-19, along with 98 staff members. Our Taylor Alanis has reaction from both sides to CCISD's decision.
If you agree with this mask mandate, good for you. What happens when the shoe's on the other foot and somebody you disagree with wants to mandate something on your child?
Parent and Moms for Liberty Chair Carrie Moore says it shouldn't be up to school districts to enforce a mask policy.
I'm not here to tell you if masks work or don't work. I'm here because we believe in parental rights to choose what's best for my children.
On Tuesday, CCISD announced they will require students, faculty, and staff to wear masks inside all campus facilities. A decision that district officials say was made after witnessing an increase in COVID-19 transmission within the community.
We know outside of vaccines, mask is the #1 mitigation measure.
But for many parents, this was a welcome safety measure.
It gives me a peace of mind knowing that when I'm not around, they're still being protective and proactive, being that my kids are so young that they're not eligible for the shot yet.
All staff are required to wear a mask, but students can opt out.
The parent or guardian would contact the campus and request the opt-out form, and it will be sent to the parent.
District officials say they will continue to monitor COVID-19 in the area and reassess before the mandate expires. Taylor Alanis, Chris 6 News.
And it's a good issue.
Good morning and buenos dias, Coastal Bend. Thank you for joining.
And I think it's a good thing that parents are making a decision for the child whether they want to wear a mask or not. Your child's not under the age of 12. if your child wants to get the vaccine, then basically you got them to be at 12 years old. Under the age of 12, it's not going to work. This virus is the big deal. Now going forward to Flower Bluff. The other day I saw a spreadsheet, which was from the 23rd, when I looked at this, and it said 26 students had been COVID, while 3 staff members have been diagnosed with COVID. And I looked at that and go, what the hell are they doing? And so they decided, look, okay, decided tonight's board meeting, we're going to issue a mask mandate. We don't know how long it's going to be, but if they say, oh, we're going to issue it until the virus goes down, then that's a big issue. It may not be a big deal to some parents, but this virus is the big deal. This is not a game. It's not a toy to be played with. But coming up, there is a walkout coming up tomorrow in Flower Bluff. We'll tell you more about that, and a lot more still ahead. Now let's move down to Flower Bluff. As I just mentioned before, they're issuing a mask mandate. So let's hear from one parent who gave a most incredible speech. So I want you to listen to the speech, and I'll tell you more about it.
I'd first like to say this is my first time at a board meeting as well. This is actually my first time at going to school with my child.
We need to ask you to give your address. We haven't been, yeah.
Oh, yes, 7630 Taylor Lane. I want to thank all of you for allowing me the time to come and voice my concerns and taking the time to listen. We are an out-of-district family that transferred our 5-year-old son to Flower Bluff for kindergarten. We specifically chose to transfer out of CCISD because of what is currently going on right now. We watched and listened to family friends within Flower Bluff ISD last year as to how they handled the pandemic, and we were very pleased of the examples set and the decisions that y'all made. Following the governor's orders and not making y'all's own rules and policies that infringed upon parents' rights. I'm not going to list stats because I feel that everyone can find a stat to back their point depending on where you get your resources. There's a lot of inconsistencies. Instead, I would like to highlight bullet points that as a parent, there are many concerns if a mask mandate is ordered. Number 1, the freedom. I believe that it is my husband and my choice to decide whether or not we want our child to wear a mask, not the school boards. That is a freedom as Americans that we have for now. Number 2, fear. I don't want to instill fear in my child to create worry and anxiousness over whether he's wearing a mask. He's 5 years old. Whether he's anxious or fearful over putting it on properly or if he forgets to move it up after eating. In our home, we do not wear masks, and our child does not rely on a mask in order to feel safe. Number 3, health. As small children are growing, their lungs are still developing. I don't understand how anyone can believe that wearing a cloth over your mouth and inhaling the trapped air over and over again can be healthy or good for not only children, but young children who still have lungs that are developing. There are not many, if any, research studies showing the effects of what wearing a mask or a face covering for long periods of time can do to a small child's body. Number 4, education. Do you know how hard it is to learn the sounds that a letter makes for a 5-year-old who is learning his alphabet? For the first time to hear the letter S without being able to see his teacher's lips and her mouth as she moves and teaches. From what I understand, there are 3 types of learning: auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. It's possible for a third of the students, especially the younger ages, to be severely delayed because we are removing their ability to learn visually when we're placing masks on our teachers. The 5th point is division. Mandating masks will feed into the division from the media and the government for our schools and families. As of now, each family can make their own decision for their child. Mandating the mask is favoring one side and removing the others that parents have as a choice. If parents have a problem with their children being around unmasked kids, they have the freedom to pull their child. If parents have an issue with their children being around masked kids, they have the freedom to remove their child. But each parent should get the option and not be forced on one. There's a quote from A Bug's Life that's been going around on social media. You let one ant stand up and they all might stand up. Thank you.
Next, Kimberly Chapa.
Is she going to give out the same speech?
Hi, I'm Kimberly Chapa. I'm a mom of 4 children, all who attend 4 different campuses at Flower Bluff.
Hey, Dan, could you give your address? I know you're nervous too, I'm sorry.
No, you're...
All right, we're not going to go further into this, but what really happened was what happened was during 5th period, they're going to decide to go walk out. I'm going to read to you what's going to be happening tomorrow, which is today. Flower Bluff High School parents, guardians, I would like to make you aware of a student walkout planned for tomorrow, August 27, 2021, during 5th period. This event is being organized by a group of Flower Bluff High School students who would like to protest the dress code. First and foremost, we respect the First Amendment rights of all students. However, we are encouraging our students to take a different approach by contacting assistant principals or myself, schedule a meeting in person or through email. Our secretaries are readily available to set up an appointment with any student who would like to voice any concerns in regard to dress code or any matters that directly impact our Hornet community. We take pride in empowering our students to use their voice to create change in a respectful manner. The doors from our office along the administrative team are always open. The 2 most important things for me are your students' education and safety. By policy, school districts do not encourage protest. For this reason, I am not allowing students to be excused from class during the walkout. Any student who chooses to walk out of school will be subject to disciplinary action according to the student code of conduct. We don't know who organized this walkout. We don't know whether it's going to happen. But we still don't know. I mean, if this walkout happens, it's going to be a concern. You know how protest ends. It ends in fistfights, signs. So, let's look at the dress code. So the dress code is the masks. And by you holding up a sign saying we don't want masks as a dress code, that is a direct violation. I mean, all schools respect the First Amendment, yes. But going out and protesting, that is not a good idea. If all you Flower Bluff High School kids out there, I would not recommend you going out there and protesting. If you do, then that's your choice to be disciplined. So, this person who organized the walkout, it's not sexist. I mean, this is the dress code. All school districts create dress code, make a dress code, and then the principal has to enforce the rule. The administration makes the rules. The principal and the teacher has to enforce it. The rules of every school district is that the principal has to enforce a dress code, even if it means masks. So I would not recommend you guys, all you people who are going to go out there and walk out during 5th period, going out there and saying, we're not wearing masks, this and that, yada yada yada. Those people out there that want to come out, and if you guys want to, I mean, for those who want to speak out, I'll be welcome for, I'll be lucky to have you guys come on. Tomorrow's getting ready to tell your side of the story. Because let's face it, I mean, it was your choice to decide, I'm walking out. I mean, yes, it's the parent's choice for the child. It's like, I don't want my child wearing this, I don't want my family doesn't wear a mask. I mean, look, see this? This is very important to the safety for you and me. And for those in Flower Bluff that see me walking around the street with a guitar, it's very hard for me to wear this while I'm doing this. If we're singing and all, but I'm vaccinated. It's been weeks since I got my second dose, and I'm already still feeling good. Well, prior to the other, but what the hell is the school district doing deciding for a mask mandate? I mean, those 26 students, those guys chose to ignore it, and Principal Linda Medley decided to send it out too late because of what's happening. The board, they chose to ignore it. They chose to put their heads in the sand and put their heads in the sand, stick out their ass, and decided it doesn't matter. We'll come up with a new plan. I mean, we have to go back to the old plan of last year. Except for instead of the mandate, we got to make it recommend. The definition of recommend, for those who don't, the definition, let me tell you the definition of recommend. Put forward someone or something with approval of being suitable for a particular purpose or role. That's what recommend is. Mandate is just enforcing the rule. I mean, with the government, with the Supreme Court ruling and the judge's issue, I mean, CCISD is ordering a mask mandate, we know that, but this problem is going too far for the students. I mean, students want rights, yes, but the old-fashioned way. I mean, schools don't encourage protests, and I will applaud them for it. If those students are organized that protest, then I want those lists of, then those people have to understand that yes, you're mad about this dress code, but this is not the way to do it. Talk with the administrator, talk with your school counselor. Don't be going out there with a sign saying this. Find your principal, find your assistant principal, or talk to your school counselor. The two most important things are safety and education. That's the whole thing. Every school district in America does not encourage protests. Students are prohibited from doing this, and if you guys are going to sit there and go, I don't care what Miss Medley says, I'm going to go out there and protest, then those people out there would be sitting in the office saying, I can't believe this is happening. This school violated my First Amendment rights, and I'm going to do my best to take it to court with my parents. And I'm going to the media. So my question is, who organized this walkout? But still. But in the meantime, I would not recommend you guys going out there and protesting. It's wrong, and I understand. It's wrong. I understand that you don't like masks as dress code, but it's what the school board says, and if you don't like it, go transfer to a different school. We're back in a moment. Can you believe we're still focusing on COVID and Flablub's decision to mandate masks, and someone organized a walkout during this? I mean, yes, everyone has some First Amendment rights to go out there and protest, but whatever happened to this? So, what about students suspended for and even students were suspended for not wearing masks. This article 2 weeks ago from WSIL TV had an article saying students suspended for not wearing masks to school. Part of it says the mom sent her 3 children to the first day of school, and minutes later, she was informed her children would not be able to attend school if they didn't wear masks, complying with Illinois' mask mandate. every child received a suspension for each day they came to school without wearing a mask. And the superintendent said in the statement, they're sympathetic to the concerns and frustrations of community members over the governor's mask mandate. However, at this time, we feel it's in the best interest of the school to follow the mask mandate. It's firmly against the mandate, so far feel strong and very invested as to where this is constitutionally, how this is overstepping and overreacting. It's against the mandate and it goes too far. I mean, and those people have to do what is necessary. I mean, every governor in each state enforces the mask mandate, and if you don't follow it, then you get consequences. It's a safety issue. That's why people are dying every day, because they chose not to get vaccinated and not to wear masks. My solution is, for the unvaccinated, we mandate masks, while for the vaccinated, we recommend those who want to wear masks. And if you don't get the picture, unvaccinated are more likely to have a chance to get COVID. If you're under 12, you still got to wear a mask. It may be your child's decision, yes, but it's your child's safety. While for those who are vaccinated, you have a choice. That's generally how it works with schools. Not many schools are giving people the choice. I'll be back in a moment. As a final thought to this, let me just make this clear. As I've said this, I think I'd say this at the beginning of the show 4 to 5 years ago, I'm not throwing any school district in any state, county, or country under the bus. This is strict from the news, and what I say is in my opinion. That's what I forgot to say at the very beginning of the show 5 years ago. So, moving on, I just basically want to say to all the students out there in Flat Bluff, don't go to the walkout, don't do the walkout, don't participate in this walkout. Do the right thing. That's what matters in your heart. I understand you're angry about this. You have school administrators, you have principals, assistant principals, counselors, and parents. If it's your choice to homeschool your child, or to say whether or not you want to enroll in a different school, I respect the decision that everyone makes, but I don't respect people walking out when a school principal enforced that rule. My understanding is that we have to make sure everyone is safe and get the best education they can get. And for many states it's not unconstitutional, but everyone has their First Amendment rights. And when it's violated, people have the right to take them to court, or take them to the Supreme Court. When basically, what Ms. Medley said, protest the dress code. That all schools respect First Amendment rights to all students. The different approach is to talk to your assistant principals or the principal. They're there to help. They're not there to hurt you. You have assistant principals. You have a principal, assistant principal, a counselor. They're there to help. And skipping school because you're being bullied, that's not a way to solve problems. The best way to solve a problem is to go to the administrator and say, look, I have a problem. Look, I'm here. Let's talk. I'm going to talk to the principal, explain my situation, and see where we can go with this. I'm not going to go over there and I'm not going to go over there, organize this protest, walk out, and be disciplined for it. I'm going to do the right thing, which is go to the office and make it right. Tomorrow, if this protest does, those people out there, I will have them come on the show to tell their side of the story. But I'm not going to go over there and see it for myself because I have to work. That's tomorrow. And real quick, two memories. Number one, when we had a special guest on, his name was Eric for the bullying thing. Number two is to where. Number four and number three is to where I went. Number four was Eric, and number three was when I met Dr. Freeman, and he wasn't on the show, and we reported from the graduation. So that's my top two memories. Tune in tomorrow for another Outrageous Give Me a Break, and the last two countdown as we count down to season 5 of Give Me a Break. Until next time, America. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.